player and now as an assistant, I believe Coach Franklin referred to him as, and just everything he's overcome and what it means to his coach?
Well, man, it's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. We all trying to cope with it. Just trying to be supportive for him. I've been with him probably more than anybody. Just trying to help him overcome this deal. So it's tough, man, because we were just starting to see the best of this kid. There's no doubt in my mind he was going to be the best running back in college football this year. I believe that. It sucked he had to go through this because I know how hard he worked up to this point, and the kid didn't take a break this whole offseason. So now I'm just trying to help him find what's next for him. He's so good at trying to be there for everybody else. Now it's time to let everybody else be there for him. You know what I mean? Like as soon as he found the news, he grieved a little bit and he was like motivating everybody else, man. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, he had an appointment Friday. He was right back here Saturday on the sideline with me trying to help these young guys. So that's just who he is, man. He deal with so much adversity and never let it break him, man. He's a tremendous kid. My heart breaks for him because it's more than just football. He's like a son to me, and it hurts because I can't do anything. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. You muted, Greg.
Let's go to Tyler Donahue. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Coach. Condolences on meeting with us under these circumstances. Sorry to hear about everything yesterday night. With Journey now being an assistant coach or in some capacity in that role, how is that going? What exactly is his day-to-day process with Penn State? I'd assume he's still working toward educational aspirations. What does life look for him right now in this moment this season?
Well, like you said, Tyler, the most important thing is continuing the path to get his degree. Because without football, you got to look to something else. I know he was motivated and driven to get to an NFL, which we all felt like he was on that path to do. Now it's time to find out what's next. And I don't want to push coaching on him. I want this to be something that he want to do. But I think the most important thing is to keep him engaged, to keep him doing stuff instead of sitting home in an apartment and they have that pity party, which is easy to do. I've done it as a coach. Put myself in his shoes. So, it's trying to find the next phase of life, what it's going to look like. Right now, he's done a tremendous job, helping young guys who was coming in here when the mindset of probably not playing and trying to get them to understand what's the now right now. So doing a great job of monitoring, mentoring them, because the cool thing for him, he finally felt like what he was to Saquon and Miles. I'm the big guy in the room. I'm the big brother that these young guys want to look up to, not just the running back room, because everybody tell you in this whole program, he affected everybody, every position. That's the type of kid he is. He's just an infection person, man. When he comes around, your day get brighter because how type of attitude that he put out there in front of you. So that's where we at, and we'll continue to grow this thing, Tyler. I don't know where it's going to go for him, but I'm happy he's here with us. And that's what I tell him all the time. I say, man, listen, I know it sucks that it's over right now, but I'd rather have you here for the next 40, 50 years of our life knowing that you're alive until we figure out what's next. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to be diligent in that part of it. It's helping him grow, take that next stage. Like I told him, I'm going to be right here the whole way. I always told these guys it's bigger than football.
Go to Rich Scarcella with the Reading Eagle.
Morning, J1. Thanks for your time. Journey has endured much in his life, as you referenced, and he's always managed to somehow remain optimistic. How will that serve him? How do you think it'll serve him going forward? And secondly, how is Noah handling his injury right
now? Yeah, Journey is just, I would say football. Football always give us an out. It's 4 hours a day where we can put the phones down. We can forget about what's going at home. All of us. It's like the 4 hours where we can just focus on the now of us being together, being present, going over practice plan, game plans, and not have to worry about the outside, and that's what I worry a little bit. That's why I'm trying to make him stay active because, I can only speak on experience, losing a brother my rookie year in the NFL, and just having football to go to practice helped me. When my son was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma when I was at West Virginia, having a football practice to go to, being surrounded by the football family. Same with Journey when he lost his grandma and the 5 other people that passed in his life. He was always had football to draw him back in, so he had somebody to lean on. And so that's why it's so important to keep him around because you can draw back on your brothers, the people at the end of the day, going to have your back through the good and through the bad. And that's why I think when I said it's football, it's more than just a game, especially when you go through the ups and downs with the guys in the locker room. So I think it starts there, and I think it's in there right now until we found out what's next. And answer your question about Noah, he's positive. He's pissed because same thing I can say how hard Journey work, I can say the same thing for him. It's unfortunate what happened because I thought he was going to have that type of season too, because I'm just seeing how hard these guys work and how committed they were, and some freak accident happened like that, set him back. And so he was down because nobody, I don't want to speak out of turn and say who loves it more, but I don't think nobody loves football as much as this kid does. I mean, this is his world. He lives and died and breathes football. So it was devastating for him. I did, trying to make a joke out of it. I said, I'm never starting you again. The 2 starts you had, you both get an ankle deal. So maybe that's the jinx. So just trying to, bring some laughter and light to it. So, he'll be fine. He'll approach everything. He's here every day in the meeting room, pushing these guys. It's amazing the leadership that the 2 guys we're talking about, how much they've grown, because you're really talking about becoming a freshman to a sophomore, even for Journey, even though he's been here a little bit longer, but from really being a guy to now being in that shoes where I can help lead. So that growth has been tremendous. It's been hard to overcome. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because in my mind, and it's just like, again, I always say everything's an opinion. I think they 2 NFL backs. How you lose 2 NFL backs 4 games into the season. Some people can overcome. It's just been tough, and we all dealing with it, and we will. So don't make that excuse, but that's part of life, and it ain't the NFL. We can go sign guys off the street, so we got what we got, and we'll get better with it.
Go to Donnie Collins for Scranton Times.
Hi, J1. Just your opinion on this. How good a coach do you think Journey could be if that's the path he really wants to take ultimately?
Well, I think he got a great insight, because of, how he sees football now, how he understands the ins and outs of football, because every year we was building on something. He was learning how to be a football player early to starting to get some experience and now growing into it. Like this whole off season, we were studying on secondary, how to see safety rotations to go along with blitz. We always talking about how blitz add up with front movement. So how he can see the game in the run game where the blitz coming from the field, where my read key change and protection. Like the game was really starting to slow down to him. Like what we saw, and I said it last year, the last 5 games of the season, I thought he was playing as good as anybody in the country. The bowl game was no fluke. Like he was just tapping into that ability he has. So I think he's going to continue to translate that now. Like the stuff he's doing, at the end of practice with Kazai and Kevon, showing them how to put hand placement, and learn how to finish with their pad load, which, it's easy to say it, but that comes with experience, especially with 2 kids who probably approached coming into this season with, there's no way I'm going to play unless it's a blowout or some freak incident happening with 3 guys we had in front of them. So now the approach got to be different where, they missed, like I use Kazai for example, that kid missed spring practice. He got here early, didn't get a chance to practice. So, and all the not playing, so their growth was behind a little bit. And so now I'm able to pick those pieces up that I give them, and then Journey can continue to build on it after practice because when we got to be out the field, they can stay out there and do extra stuff.